Imagine sitting in a courtroom in harsh winters of Gilgit-Baltistan. You are seated on a high chair that elevates you from the praying eyes of the litigants and the parties seated in front of you in anticipation what you are saying next. The litigants and parties were highly confused how to address a female judge. And in midst of this, you hear a voice from the backside, Bhabhi. When you hear this voice, it first catches your attention. And then that insatiable desire to laugh out loud, but then in split of a second, you realize that you are not seated amongst your friends at a dinner party. Rather, you are sitting in a courtroom deciding a fate of a rapist across his victim. Now, what I just described might sound a very odd occurrence. But in role as a judge, I daily came across such kind of incidents. Well, before going ahead, I would like to take a step back and tell you guys a bit about myself and how it all started. I'd be lying if I said that the path I chose was an individual one. I often been playing with my siblings, and I hear my father talking over phone randomly about any criminal offense. And I immediately leave what I was doing to eavesdrop. My father was a police officer. He's taking decisions during emergencies, his plans, his all type of daring encounters with the criminals, especially the murder stories in the name of honor and the domestic violence abuses were all captivating tales that enthralled me throughout. Well, when I take this decision to join this field of law, that was considered to be taboo for a girl to move outside her station and travel a long distance to opt law. But this idea planted in my brain by my father that I can achieve and do anything what my brothers can do. So I was this idea that I have to be another person not to join something like which was never dared to join before by any other girl. I live by quote, and it goes like, life is a game of inches, and whoever fights and claws every inch are the ones who are the most successful. And today, when I talk about discrimination on basis of gender, women equality, women empowerment, and lastly, why I became a judge, I would more concentrate on determination, hard work, confidence of every woman, and the way I'm standing in front of you today. My story starts when I was a little girl, playing around my two brothers, hence another copy of them, more like a tomboy. And I always urged my mother not to take extra side of my brothers. Hence, I was with this idea of equality since that age. I took this decision, and when it was practical time to choose my degree, my father went practically to Islamabad and Peshawar. And then, from there, he called me आप कोई और डिग्री चूज कर लो. Take another step. Choose another degree. There are a lot many other fields, but not law. It's difficult to travel from Gilgit to Islamabad and to Peshawar. I still remember my VP voice and my face full of tears, and I directly throw away the phone and said to my dad, my father, that अगर लॉ नहीं पढ़ना तो मैंने कुछ नहीं पढ़ना. If there is no law degree, there is no future for me ahead. But, alhamdulillah, by the grace of Allah and support of my father, I did my law LLB from International Islamic University in the year 2004. One aim successfully achieved. But what next? Again, another taboo, another hindrance was in front of me. At that time, our women was not allowed to go into kachehri and courts, even to fight their cases. And I was aiming to be a judge. And I heard this word boardroom for the first time when I was in 8th grade from a friend of mine whose father was a practicing lawyer in Islamabad. So I was with this idea to start my practice somewhere in Islamabad. But again, the family values, cultural values, traditions came in front of me. My father called me, and I have to go back to my hometown to start an internship with a prestigious NGO. But I wasn't happy with all this, although I was earning good. My major breakthrough set in when I appeared in Federal Public Service Commission for a competitive exam of judicial magistrates cum civil judges. I topped this exam. And then, in the year 2006, I became the first ever female civil judge in entire Gilgit-Baltistan. Honored. Thank you. Well, with all this, law sometimes it sounds to be very subjective. The discrimination against women, the gender biases. I share you one story. A middle-aged lady was brought before my court. She was at her final stage of pregnancy. The police told me that a relative of her took her to a nearby clinic to abort her pregnancy. And the doctor immediately got curious. Why one would do such kind of thing at such a precarious stage when the life of mother was even under threat? And even abortion is illegal as well. Therefore, the doctor immediately reported this case to nearby police. Hence, the lady was brought before me. I still remember her pale face. I offered her a chair to sit in front of me even. Now, in the role of a judge, what would one do? I started with police file first and summoned her family. I was highly shocked to see the attitude of her father. He told me, she's mentally sick, she's mentally unstable. And he told me that her husband died some good years back. And she is living adjacent to his home, all alone. Now, this mere abortion case suddenly and immediately changed into a rape case. I arranged a counsel for her, that's called pauper counsels, to fight her case. And immediately I ordered for her clinical tests as well. Now, most of you must be wondering what happened to her and her baby. I gladly share that a healthy boy was born under the supervision of the court for the first time, and he was eventually taken into custody of guardian parents under Pakistani law. And mother was also given some financial help and medical care as well. This was a rare case which make into court. Otherwise, most of the cases, such like of matters and suicide matters and domestic violence matters, never make into courts. Why? Because there are a few reasons to that. A woman is not always financially independent, nor she has that legal awareness. And when there is unsupportive family system, then she got crippled. And in this case as well, such like thing happened. Unfortunately, in our society, role of a woman is pre-described. She is a mother, sister, a wife, doing household chores, and she is named as head of the family at home just to do all these things. Again, I would love to share a very recent incident in this regard. At the funeral of my grandmother, a lady asked me, "Are you a student or doing any job?" I simply replied, "I work." She said, "Teacher?" I said, and in the meantime, another woman stepped in to help me. Boli, ye judge hai. The curious lady at first appreciated me, but nodded her head and then said, "Teacher hi achhi hoti hai. Teaching is far better." That was not the good time to reply, so I just passed by. So by this example, we got to know that for every woman, there are segments in society to describe and to tell her her worth and her standing in the society. Her jobs, what profession she will be in, are pre-decided according to the local norms and culture. I remember hundreds of eyes glaring at me when I first started walking from the parking lot to my courtroom. The litigants, the criminals, the policemen standing over there, holding the handcuffs of the criminals, they don't even bothered to get aside for me. And I was like, just to not brush against them. So I was like this. But this gesture will never make me weaker, rather make me stronger day by day. And then I broke this taboo that no woman can sit in the court as a judge to decide your case and decide your matters and to lead you. Justice and women are like inseparable things. And if a woman is a judge, then imagine the empathy inside her, the humanity inside her, the kindness inside her, all enters into her judgments. So that her judgments not only contribute towards the society, but to bring the nice face of the judiciary in front of you all. Lastly, equality is not in doing what a man can do. But in my eyes, equality is doing all the stuff a man cannot do. I thank you.